Going to be replacing chain rings on this Cervelo. It's got a double. We're running a 52-36, I believe. So this is my go-to position. Of course, in a repair stand is going to be your best tool, your best investment. Be able to throw my arm over, armpit on the top tube, crank arms horizontal as best you can, tool horizontal the best you can. Tool's going to be closest to me for grip. Opposite side crank arm is going to be closer to me, so I'm going to grip it, either grip the pedal or the arm, lifting up here, pushing or holding on the right arm over here. Here we go again, that's a tough one. So I'm going to break out the breaker bar. Like I said, 15-16 inch in length. Park Tools sells them too. It's going to be an 8 mil socket style hex. And yeah, you're probably asking, what if I couldn't get this? Well, then we get creative, but where you call a buddy. Didn't relax, you need to relax. Let's see, relax the chain in the back. This is, and then the chain's pretty much relaxed in the small gear. I can always take this chain off now, or as I'm pulling this crank off, the chain will be disassembled. Right. So just loosen all the way. These cranks, this is a SRAM Red, it should have an outer ring here. This outer ring looks like it has maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 tiny little holes or divots. This outer ring that has arrows on it, and it may even give you a torque, 2 torque recommendations, a lower torque recommendation. It's almost implying this ring can come off and on. Always leave this ring on, never take that ring off. This is part of your self-extraction system. Sometimes these are stuck, that's sliding out pretty good. If it was slick, I would use a mallet just to gently tap it. This guy's good. But you can always inspect all this area too. Bearings are riding on a section here and here and here. Okay, and then if you want to, you can always check your bearings finger rotating. Anytime you get your fingers closer and onto that bearing, you're gonna get the best feel. You're just feeling, when it needs to be smooth, buttery, you don't want to feel grit, you don't want to feel any tight spots, no noises. Yeah, it feels great. So once you locate, I think I had a video on just going through how do you choose new chain rings. You can always change your tooth sizing, your diameter size, but you need to get the correct system here. So one side, this is a 6 mil on this side, and this side could drop down to a 5. Yeah, that's a 5. And then if you're working on the table, if these are really tough, you can always try to position your tool. Like say I can't turn this one, like I just did, but say it was jammed and you just couldn't get good leverage. This position right here where the crank arm is balancing itself, cranks on the floor or on the table, I'm going to get something a little longer. And I'm going to use this so I can place my hand on the end of the crank or the pedal. And then the chainring is also bracing and balancing, and then I can just use my hand here to break it free so you can put some weight on top of it and boom, crack that loose. Once you crack it loose, you're pretty much home free to spin this out. But always be aware of these teeth here. If your hand moves or slips, you're not going right into chain rings. So you can kind of do that for all of them. You might have to rotate as needed. This is our hidden screw, so I'm only using one tool on this side. Oh yeah. Kind of skipped ahead here. I took all the bolts off. The smaller chainring kind of fell this way. This one comes off like this, so either coming on here. Pedal can stay in place for now. It's not a big deal. And again, if you had to, maybe you have a power meter or something like that, this whole thing can be unbolted. You can bolt that spider and then bolt in your little computer set up here and then bolt your original chainrings back on. All right, before I move ahead too far, we have our backing in our front bolts. So we got a set here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 bolts. And then we have our one hidden bolt, which just has threads. Its mate, its threaded portion is actually still stuck in the old chainring, which is right here. You can try and push it out. So you're going to use, this is a brand Loctite, this one's blue. What is the number here? Doesn't have a cool number, it's 37643. Medium strength. You want to go with light, maybe light to medium. I don't have the light, so I'm going to go very minimal here. This is like a chapstick consistency, so all I'm doing is scraping the edge. So maybe I got like 5 or 10% on there. I'm going to wipe off any excess. A lot of this will smear around. I definitely don't want to overdo it. That's all I need right there. Just a little splash on the edge. And then get your proper torque setting and you'll be in good shape. And then this backing here is going to sit in. That's our hidden bolt area. So that one just kind of sat in there. Might have to hold that with a finger. Should be pressed in. That's the whole purpose of that, is to have it pressed in. But they don't give you a new one, so I definitely got to reuse the old one. This will be fun. I'm going to actually put a piece of tape on this backing because this guy wants to fall out. We can always get to this tape after, so that backing will stay put. So going to the new one here. This is our face. So this is what we're looking at when we're looking on the right side of the bike. So then here we have a little bit of shiny black. We got SRAM logo here, so looks like that's going to be my show side. That side is facing me. Flip it over. Then you're looking at all your little machined cutouts, your pins. So we know that that belongs on this side because the chain's going to transfer from small ring to this side. So that's the inside or inboard facing. This one gave me 2 of these metal pins here. These are your chain catches. Usually you're just seeing 1 pin. A lot of times they'll allow you to pull this out, press it in the other side if you need to swap this over for whatever reason. This may come into play if you're, I don't know, maybe trying to switch a logo or something like that, but usually this catch pin is going to go in line with your crank arm. So imagine if your chain got thrown off this way, it's going to fall between the chain ring and the crank arm. The chain pin, it's going to catch the chain and stop it here rather than letting it go deep inside all the way to the center and get jammed in there. Especially if you do a pedal stroke, couple pedal strokes, the chain will jam and get stuck. So it gets caught here. So always make sure that is where it's supposed to be, in line, the catch pin, in line with your crank arm. And this is going to sit on the outside. So basically we're going to sandwich this spider. So it's a 5 spider, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And actually this is a good one right here. It's just aligned with crank arm here. So they don't always give you this information, but thank you for that, with hidden bolts. So that's a telltale. And that actually lines up with that little divot that's in the metal. So that was good. Come back over here. Don't push in too quick, too hard. You're gonna push the backing out. So we got to be very, very careful, very ginger. I just want to use a light tool. I guess I can use this. I don't want to put pressure. So this is a 5. I don't want to push down with pressure, just going very lightly. Maybe just the weight of the tool. I think I caught. Let's see if it behaves. So I'm able to create tension. Yeah, so it's actually holding tension, but I'm going to keep that loose for now. If you feel the backing is spinning as you're turning this, what you can do is pivot your tool. You can kind of pivot your tool this way or this way. So it's going to put pressure on the side, forcing the backing to kind of stop and maybe stay in place for you. Fun. So we're going to sandwich. So I'm having trouble with that one. Anytime you have trouble, maybe you could swap bolts, or the threads. Maybe the threads have been compromised, but everything came out pretty easy. I didn't think I messed anything up. Maybe you got some old thread locker. Oh, look at that, just swapping bolts. So when we get back to the other one, let's see if it messes up in the other ones, and then just work your way around. Usually a finger will hold the backing. Now that's snug, let's jump to the next one. Jump across, jump across. The reason for this, where we're doing like a star pattern, we're jumping from one bolt, tighten to the next bolt, farthest, farthest, farthest. So we apply even pressure here. All right, so say we tighten 1, 2, 3, and this is being a little exaggerated. So I tighten these 3. This side gets tight flat to the table, but it wants to slightly lift up here. Say it lifts up even a millimeter, but say it lifts up here. Then when I go to tighten the other 3, 1, 2, 3, in a sense, if we're lifting, it's going to create a bow, and then the other side's going to come down. So in essence, what could happen is flat, flat, but then we have a bow in the middle. So now we're stressing the center of that piece right there, and over time it will fatigue and maybe want to crack. So if we tighten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, We're just applying even pressure on this side, even pressure on this side. So we're slowly walking this whole thing down as a unit, not putting too much pressure on one side, so we have even displacement all the way around. I may reference the back of the Park Tool book from time to time. It'll give you a listing of aluminum chainring bolts, and that'll be one set of torque settings, and then we have steel set of torque settings. If you don't have any and you trust yourself with hand pressure, go for it. Go there. Let's start at 6. So again, brace this on the table, bracing with the crank arm pedal and then the chainring. And then this is actually a 6. I'm gonna do the backing because I have my 5 here. And then you can always use a rag or a glove to put down here if you need to brace a little bit. And then just go gentle, boom. So I already got a click there at 6. Let's jump to the other one. Yeah, these are, that's ramped up pretty quick. Yeah, so I'm gonna go, I don't feel I went very tight at all. I'm gonna go to 9. Yeah, usually my hand will tend to crank down quite a bit, and all I did was really snug them up. So, it moved a little bit. That's definitely moving. But also make sure the backing isn't turning. Yep, it's turning. Let's get a tool. There we go. And you can go through one more round if you want. Yeah, feel pretty good about that. So we ended up at 9 when the recommendation was 5 to 10. Everything looks good. So we can read red. The SRAM logo's at the top, so that's actually, that's your show orientation, so you're ready for a photo. Got power ready here. All your logos are showing because, you know, the manufacturers have big egos. Wanted to show you this little tidbit. So these are with screws and threads. This happens to be chainring, but it could be for anything, any male, female type of threaded situation here. So here's my threaded piece here. It's got some old thread locker in there, so if you can scrape that out with like this little pick I have here, or a scribe. Problem was over on this one here where the threads were on the inside, and this is going to be hard to see, but right there's a white hairline fracture, and I could actually see it on the inside as well, just starting. So again, this guy's cracked, not allowing my threads to thread in here properly. This is now garbage, and I can replace that one, but if it's happening someplace else, like in a fixed piece, you know, on your portion of your bike, that's a different story. Right here, there's a line, it's going in on the inside and it's going on the outside as well, but that top edge, a little bit of whiteness. We do have black anodization overall, but the fact that I see some white as a contrast, that's what color the metal truly is, so it's showing me the inside that it's cracked.